Recently, Adams City High School in Colorado was on lockdown, but it wasn't because of a bomb threat or a school shooting or anything like that. It was because one of the teenagers, one of the students in the school, decided to take a bong rip in class. In fact, he used something known as a gravity bong, which I had never heard of before in my life.
Come on.
Now, I had not. And look, I am a marijuana enthusiast, right? Like, I'm not a stoner, but I know a thing or two about the devil's lettuce. But I had never heard anything about a gravity bong before. So for those of you who might be asking, what the hell is a gravity bong? According to Urban Dictionary, which of course is the most credible source to go to when you're looking for this kind of information, a gravity bong is a homemade pipe that is designed to use the force of gravity to pull weed smoke into the chamber, usually using water as the means for drawing the smoke down into the chamber. Now, according to the Denver Post, after the student attempted to use his gravity bong in class, the school had to be evacuated because the authorities, or the administrators, I should say, were worried about the students. Keep in mind that marijuana is legal in Colorado, okay? And the school also released a statement saying the following: as a precautionary measure, our students were placed on a modified lockdown to limit movement throughout the school. Students who had been near the device were examined by medical personnel. I love this story. Christian, make your point.
I mean, it was, well, first of all, I thought Wacky Tobacco was corny, but Devil's Lettuce is, I think, yeah, you beat me there.
Wacky Tobacco.
I mean, it was just, I mean, why do you have to bring, especially a gravity bong? I mean, bring like a little one-hitter or something. Like, you bring a gravity bong to school? I mean, come on, that's kind of stupid.
All right,
I mean,
good point.
I mean, I think it was more a case of like, he wanted to show off in front of his friends and he actually really wanted to get high in class. So it was like,
such a big
bring
device.
a little one-hitter, put it in your pocket, it's fine. I mean, why are you going to bring a gravity bong?
No showing off, no showing off. Gina?
Christian's absolutely right. And by the way, we never used a 2-liter. We used those like big teddy bears that held like those animal crackers. So that was way cuter.
Aww.
And there's a great company in Austin called the Gravitron that works better than the chewing gum in the 2-liter that you showed us. But yeah, I agree. I think that the school needs to like maybe smoke a little weed and relax, because that was ridiculous and a waste of everybody's time. But this kid's an idiot. And he deserves to be treated like an idiot.
Yes.
The rest of the school doesn't, but he does.
Yeah, and look, I can understand the school's response, because even though people like us know that marijuana is not going to kill you and it's not the end of the world if some student was smoking marijuana in a classroom, there are parents out there who will freak out and they will hold the administrators accountable if they don't take the proper precautions. Now, here's a personal question. What would you say is the worst thing you've done as a teenager? Gina, let me start with you.
Well, I excuse myself for a lot of stuff, so I don't think that I've done a lot of terrible things. The only story that came to mind, because in some ways it was so wildly out of character. I mean, yeah, we stayed out all night, and we smoked weed, and we drank a little, whatever, but I thought I was a pretty good kid. But when I was young, like, I don't know, like 15, and I got my first bodysuit, so I was feeling pretty sexy. A couple girlfriends and I said, they were like the bad influence on me. They're like, Gina, pack an overnight bag and meet us at the mall at like 8, 9 o'clock at night, and we're gonna go to her house and spend the night. I go, great. My mom dropped me off, see you later. And they took my bag and they put it in the corner of this movie theater, and they're like, we're not gonna go spend the night. We're gonna go hang out with guys in the pool hall in Kansas. I mean, if this wasn't the setup for Deliverance, I don't know how I wasn't abducted, raped. I don't know how I wasn't. Thank God I wasn't. So we hung out in our bodysuits in a pool hall all night, flirting with old drunk men that had to be old, like 22, 23, and thought we were really, really badass for doing that. Sorry, Mom.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I did something worse than that, way worse than that. But I'm going to let Christian share his story. Go ahead.
I mean, there's nothing sexier than a guy hitting around some balls with a stick. I mean, that's super sexy.
Or a Swiffer.
Yeah, oh man. Wait, what was the question again?
What would you say is the worst thing you did?
So I'm gonna take this time here to like tug at some heartstrings. So I was a pretty good kid when I was growing up. I never really got into much. I mean, I did, but like I was always scared of like getting into like real trouble. So I'd have to say the worst thing I did as a teenager was disrespect my mom.
Oh my God, you're unbearable.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the worst thing you did as an adult?
No, really, that was it. Like I just, like looking back now, like she just like wanted the best for me, and like I thought she was dumb and a bitch sometimes, and I was like, I did. She doesn't. I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. Yeah, I mean, one thing that I did do that kind of came to mind was when I was a senior in high school, I skipped class to go have sex with my girlfriend at the time, and on the way back to school, I got into a car accident, and yeah.
That's what you get.
And my mom bitched at me because she found out I was skipping school and because I got into an accident.
Damn.
Although she did cry when she got there. She was like, "Oh my God, are you all right?" And then when she saw I was all right, you fucking idiot.
Because she's a good mom.
Oh,
That's
of course,
the order it goes.
she's an awesome mom.
And then anger.
She's an awesome mom.
All right, okay. I did a lot of bad things when I was a teenager. So I was always super studious. I took class seriously, but then during my free time, I hung out with all the wrong people. So you guys know about my Cholita days. I've shown you pictures, I've talked about it in great detail. And I had a boyfriend who was bad news. My parents absolutely hated him. And he considered himself a tagger. And at that time I thought that was cool, but now thinking about it in retrospect, I realized what an idiot I was. And I would sneak out a lot. And one time my mom did catch me and beat the shit out of me. But I snuck out of the house to go tagging with him. And even though I'm not a tagger and I didn't even touch a spray can, right? I climbed a building and got on top of a billboard and watched him spray his gang name or whatever on a billboard. And I was like, oh my God, he's so sexy. At the time, yeah, because I was an idiot,
That's
right?
hardcore gangster shit.
It is hardcore gangster
You
shit.
billboard. That's pretty intense.
I mean, I feel like I lived.
Yeah.
You know, I've
Yeah.
experienced some stuff.
And you're still alive, so
yeah.
that's good.
Do you still find me sexy?
Oh, completely.
All right, cool.
Even more.
Good. All right, well, tell us what you did as a teenager. What's the worst thing you did? And also, what do you make of this gravity bong? Have you ever smoked out of a gravity bong? I want to hear your getting high stories. Those are always lots of fun. Comment in the section below, and we'll see you guys soon.